Hey there, I'm Louie, and in this video I'm going to show you how to add details like scars, warts, and rings to your amigurumi after the piece is already sewn together. These pieces aren't too tricky to add on. Scars and rings are just simple embroidery, and warts are just bullion knots. But to add them after it's already sewn together can be a little bit tricky because you can't get back into the piece. So in this video I'm going to show you how to simply add these pieces after the piece is already sewn together. So here I have an orc that I've already sewn shut. He's already finished, but he's a little generic. He's a little boring. So let's add some details to him, like rings and maybe a scar and maybe even a wart, to give him a little bit more character or personality. For this video, you're going to need the following materials. I'm using all worsted weight yarn because that's what I use to make my character. You also want to use, especially if you're making scars and warts and stuff, you want to use the exact same yarn that you use to make your character. So I'm going to be using this orc green. This is because you want it to be noticeable from the embroidery or the stitches that you actually use, not from the coloring. So I wouldn't use a dark green yarn because it'd be too obvious. You want it to be subtle enough so it's like, oh yeah, look at that. He's got a big scar on his face. That being said, I'm going to be using gold for the ring because, you know, it's a ring. Okay, and also I'm using a darning needle. A darning needle is a bit thicker of a regular needle. It's easier to get the yarn into that little, to the little eye hole there. Also, my darning needle is crimped on the end, meaning that the end of it is like, boop, bent over. This makes it easier to go in and out of your piece like that. Yeah, so if you can get a darning needle with a crimped end, I highly suggest it. Alright, well let's start by adding a ring. That way I can show you just how to add things after it's already sewn together, and then I can start to up it with some embroidery and some maybe a bullion knot. So we're adding a gold ring, so I'm going to use my gold yarn here. And you don't need to knot it onto the darning needle. You can just simply put it through the hole. It shouldn't come undone. It should be pretty simple. Now the trick to adding detail after it's already sewn together is that you want to come in from the opposite side. So I want to add the ring to his lip right here. So I want to come in from the opposite side of his face, but still close enough so that when I knot it together on the inside, it still keeps shape. So I'm going to go like right here, right behind the ear. And I'm going to come out for where I want to add the ring. So let's say like right there, like that. Looks pretty good. And I want to go around the lip. And I'm going to go back under the lip. You want to definitely go into a stitch that's not the same as the one you came out of, or else it'll just come apart on the inside. And you want to come out from the same place you went in. Now this is because that's where we're going to be adding the knot. Okay? So that looks pretty good. Maybe we can like loosen that ring up just a touch. There we go. That looks pretty good like that. So what we're going to do is we're going to double knot these on the inside right here. Now I loosened it up, but that probably won't matter because you want to double knot it really tight on the inside. Like, kind of like, see how his face is kind of getting squished in like that? That's totally fine. The stuffing on the inside is going to hold it, keep it like a little bit of a spacer. So we're going to double knot it like that. And now you can cut the ends. You want to cut them pretty close. And then take the back end of your needle and just kind of stuff that knot back up in there. Okay? Now it's going to be kind of loose. It looks tight right there, but the knot is kind of loose on the inside. So you're going to want to pull this out just a little bit. Give it a little bit more space. But you don't want to pull it too much or it'll look like a really loose ring. So there we go. We got a ring. Now we can use the same way to add to tie it together on the inside with our other pieces. So now let's add just an embroidery scar. Let's do something like a big scar up his body and past his face there, like he's been cut in half. So you want to use some yarn that's the same color as the piece, like I was saying before. Thread that on the needle there. And we're going to add the scar right here up the body right there. So let's do we're going to go out here and in there. So like that. Okay? So it's not too far away, but it's not too close either. Now for scars, it's just kind of an embroidery thing. So what I like to do is I like to go in the piece and just kind of add a line. Okay, so you kind of see what I mean in just a second. Okay, see, so I just added a line, and then I want to go back in. See, I want to go under the lip here. I'm going to go back in, and we're going to come out the same place we went in. So it's like that, okay? Now the trick is you want to go around each of these two sections, like a few times, depending on how long it is. So this one's pretty short, so we're just going to go in that embroidery that we just made, whoop, like so. Okay, and then let's see that, yeah, that looks pretty good. And then we're just going to go, we can go over the lip if you want, but I kind of like it going under the lip. So let's go back into the piece, and we'll come out the same place we went in right there. Okay. It's kind of hard to see it above the lip, but it won't be difficult to see it under. So now we're going to go around this bar like a few times. I would say like 3, maybe 4 times, just to really give it that like 3-dimensional detail. Okay, so that's pretty good. So you can see it's really like just a slash on his face now. And we're going to enter back into the body and come out from the same place we went in. Okay. That looks pretty good to me. Yeah. So now let's double knot these guys together. Okay, see how it really pulls it in once I tie that knot tight. But we'll be able to fix that. Okay. We want to cut that knot close, and then take the back of that needle and stuff it back into the body. And then let's just kind of like wiggle him out so that he's not as pulled in there. Okay. Alright, so now he's got just a simple scar. He's just got a battle wound. Now let's give him a wart. Let's give him a big wart like right here under his chin. Now that is made with a bullion knot. Now a bullion knot, we're going to go in and out from where we want it to be, and then add our yarn. And that's just so it holds the needle in place. I'm just going to go in. A bullion knot can be a little tricky. So we're going to go out of one stitch. Okay, then you want to take this long end. You want this tail end to be just sticking out. You want to take this long end, and you want to wrap the needle still attached to the yarn around it 3 times. You can do anywhere between 2 and 4 times. So we're going to do 3. Okay, and then we're going to hold the yarn up and away, and then we're going to enter back in from a different stitch. So this is where we came out, and we want to go back in a stitch above it, and then come back out the same place we went in. Okay. You want to pull it through. Now here's the trick. You can make this knot. We're going to pinch this knot and pull it out a little bit. Okay, not too much. We're going to pull these 2 ends, and that's going to really knot it up. Okay, don't pull it too tight. You still want it to be ugly and weird. But if you pull it too tight, it'll shrink that knot down a little bit too much. Okay, so that looks pretty good. Now we're just going to pull these 2 ends in. You can kind of see how we've got a little wart there. Okay. Now let's just double knot these guys on the inside. And you can make sure to double knot it tight. And we'll do that cut and stuff it back in. Okay, so we got those double knotted. We cut it close. Take the end of the needle and stuff it back in like that. Okay. All right, and there we go. Now we have a little wart. Now, because we added these after the fact, after it's already been sewn together, they have a little bit of looseness in it. So I don't want to pull this wart or it'll pop out kind of a little bit. And that's going to just really screw it up. You're just going to have to remove the wart altogether. The same thing with the ring and this. It's pretty in there. Like, it's not going to be easy to pull it out. But, you know, that option is always there. So, be careful, especially if you have little ones that like to pull it apart. Just make sure to double knot it really tight, or add these before you sew it together to make sure it really stays on there. Yeah. But thanks so much for watching. If you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe down below on YouTube, or join the email list at clubcrochet.com. This is part of an ongoing series called Amigurumi 101, brought to you by Club Crochet and produced by me, Louie's Loops. This is an ongoing series where I teach how to crochet amigurumi with different techniques and tutorials to make your amigurumi easier and better looking. You can get access to the full library of these Amigurumi 101 videos by becoming a Club Crochet member. Members get early access to Amigurumi 101 videos, exclusive videos, and exclusive patterns and projects to make on their own time with the new techniques that they learn. Membership starts at only $5 a month, and you can learn more about that at clubcrochet.com. Thanks again for watching, pasta la pizza, and happy hooking. Bye!